This is Maury of Yasharal. I've been teaching the luminaries for 9 years. I thought that there was nothing that I haven't seen before. But Darak Ibar has taken his abominations to a whole new level. Things that we haven't seen before. Even the community, people are shaking their heads. They're asking, how did you come up with this? Listen to me carefully. The luminaries have laws. If you violate them, what is the penalty? Death. You cannot add to or take away from his book of the law. A novice is not to teach, because he will fall into a trap and the snare of the devil, which he will not be able to get out of. To get out of it, you have to be able to change, to repent, to go in the right direction. But it seems that Darak Ibar cannot do that. He just gets worse every single year. Let's see what he had to say this time. The biblical Passover begins the evening of so-called 5/2. That's May the 2nd. The second solar month on Pope Gregory's calendar. How did he arrive at that date? The first new moon, while the sun was in the fourth gate, came in April 18. Are you shaking your head? Of course you are. If you know just a little bit, you should be bewildered at this moment. Questions. What does the fourth gate or the fourth portal represent? It's a portal in which the sun rises at the beginning of the solar year. Darak Ibar just told you that April 18th is the beginning of the solar year. When is the real beginning of the solar year? March 18th. I created a video about it. It's called The Starting Point. Go check it out. March 18th is the beginning of the solar year according to Yas time. According to the book of Hanuk. It's called sunrise. Then the Gentiles' official start of the year is on March 20th. They call it an equinox. They have to wait 2 days for the sun to come to the equator. Then Pope Gregory fixed his calendar to the 21st. Now Darak Ibar has come in and he has added 30 more days to the solar count. Question. How many days did Hanuk say the year has? 364 days. How many days does Darak's year have? 394 days. Do you see the delusion? What gate would the sun come forth in the second solar month? The fifth gate. It's your responsibility to go and check. Let's continue. So-called April 27th at even begins the 10th day of, and I'll be going to choose the lamb the morning of the so-called April 28th. You're going to choose a lamb? For what purpose? The Lamb has already been chosen by he who is seated upon the throne. Do you have the right in this time to choose a lamb? Are you going to slaughter it on the 14th day in the evening? What premise is he coming from? In Torah, when we were in the land of Egypt, we were told by Moshe and Aharon to choose a lamb on the 10th day of the first lunar month, Abiyab. Store it up to the 14th day, and in the evening of the 14th, you are to sacrifice the lamb, put the blood in the basin, take the hyssop, spread the blood upon the doorposts, so that death will pass you by. Is this the premise that he's coming from? Of course. After we left out of the land of Egypt, we went into the wilderness. Read Deuteronomy chapter 16. You'll find that the Aaronic priesthood was set up. You'll find that the tabernacle in the wilderness was set up. You'll find that the Father gave us a new set of instructions, laws, that are statutes forever throughout our generations. What did he say? You shall not sacrifice the Passah within any of your gates, but only in the place where Yah chose to put his name in. Darak, are you going to sacrifice a lamb? Is your backyard the place where Yah put his name in? Listen to me, people. You cannot teach the law while violating the law. The Father himself chose a lamb, Yahusha HaMashiach. He gave himself up to go into the heavens, to sprinkle the blood with his finger 7 times before the mercy seat and 7 times on the mercy seat. When he who is seated upon the throne observes the rites carried out according to the law, you will be exonerated. If you choose a lamb and sacrifice it in your backyard, you have violated the law and you have spit in the Messiah's face. Very excited and blessed to bring in another one of my Passovers on the appointed times. This is his Passover. Has nothing to do with Yahuwah. The evening of 425 begins the 8th day of the first biblical month. You see how he puts biblical in? To give himself legitimacy? He's read the book of Enoch. He understands how the count works. The moon does not move forward. The moon falls behind. How do I know that he knows this? Because he came at us before and said, if you don't adjust the calendar and add a 13th month to bring the moon back to an equinox, your feasts shall be all the way back in the winter months. So he knows what the book says. The first biblical month. You would call it Abib, but the name is Abiyab. Will fall behind in 3 years in the amount of 30 days. The first biblical month, called Abiyab, will fall behind in 5 years in the amount of 50 days. The first biblical month, called Abiyab, in 8 years, it would fall behind in the amount of 80 days. Can you stop it? Can you change it? It is a delusion to believe that you can control the sun, the moon, and the stars on paper. What are you supposed to do? Just follow Yah's sign, Yah's calendar, the moon, 12 months. you'll come right back to the first month. There's 12 doors to the sun. There's 12 portals in which the sun, the moon, and the stars go in and out of. In those portals, there are 12 window openings corresponding to the 12 months of the year. There are 12 tribes. The gates of the city, they're 12, with the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Yasharal. The foundation, 12 foundations of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, in which you are denying if you're sacrificing in your backyard. Shalaman, the one you call Solomon, chose 12 officials to furnish the temple for the 12 months of the year. So all you have to do is follow the sign, the calendar of Yahuwah. You count 12 months, you'll come right back to the first month. You do not add to or take away from this book of the law. We know he's added to because he's told us that he has to add 13th months. Now he has a calendar that's 394 days. Shabbat Shalom to everyone observing Abba's calendar. This is not Abba's calendar. This is your calendar. As presented by the ancient prophet Enoch. They all are relying on Enoch. They can't read. They have no reading comprehension. They haven't compared text to text. They're totally outside of the laws of the luminaries. They're adjusting, they're adding to, and taking away. So they're not speaking from the standpoint of the ancient prophet Hanuk. They're speaking from the imagination of their mind, given to him by the angel, or Ya'al. Barakatah. All right, this is just part 1. Now we'll go to part 2, and I'll show you the correspondence between him and another brother that was just shaking his head. Shalom.